everyone. Welcome back to English with Anna. Today we are going to continue our housing and the home unit. To begin, we're going to start with a little review. We're going to review the types of housing. So let's go ahead and read these together again. Number 1, a house. Number 2, a townhouse. Number 3, a mobile home or a trailer home. Number 4, an apartment. Number 5, a condo. So remember, a house is for usually one family. A townhouse is like 2 houses or sometimes even 3 or 4 houses put together, and a different family lives on each side. A mobile home is all one level and it can be moved. An apartment, you have to pay rent every month. And a condo is similar to an apartment, but you can buy a condo, so you don't have to pay rent. And then we practiced present and past. We use I live for present, I lived for past. So for me, I live in a house now. I lived in an apartment before. What about you? Then we talked about types of places to live in our other video. Let's read these one more time. The city, the suburbs, the country. Remember, the city is big, it has big buildings and a lot of people and traffic. The suburbs are the smaller cities around the big cities. And the country is away from the city. It's more quiet. And also we practiced present and past. For me, I would say, I live in the suburbs now. I lived in the city before. What about you? And then today we're going to add a little bit more. I want to know who lives in the same house together with you. What people are in your house? We have 2 questions. This question here is the correct grammar. With whom do you live? With whom do you live? This question is correct, but we don't usually speak that way in our country, in our community, with our friends and family. Usually, this is how we speak. Who do you live with? Who do you live with? So this question is not correct grammar, but this is how we usually ask this question. Let's look at some examples. Who do you live with? Who do you live with? This man says, I live alone. I live by myself. So only one person. Only he lives in this house. Alone. By myself. Those are the same. This woman here, who do you live with? I live with my sisters. With means together in the same house. So she lives with her 2 sisters. This woman here, who do you live with? I live with my husband and my 2 children. So here is her husband and 2 children. This man here, who do you live with? I live with my wife, my 2 children, and my parents. So here is his wife, his 2 children, and his parents. Remember, parents means mom and dad together, mother and father. This woman here, who do you live with? I live with my son. So she and her son live together in an apartment building. Now it's your turn. Who do you live with? I live with my father right now. So we live together. What about you? Now let's put it all together. All of the things that we learned in this video. Here we have 3 short sentences, and we're going to put them all together to make one longer sentence. Let's read them together. I live in a townhouse. I live in the suburbs. I live with my husband. Now let's put them all together. I live in a townhouse in the suburbs with my husband. Let's try another example. I live in an apartment. I live in the city. I live with my cousin. Let's take these 3 sentences and put them together. I live in an apartment in the city with my cousin. Let's try one more together. I live in a house. I live in the country. I live with my brother. I live in a house in the country with my brother. Can you try a sentence like this? Stop the video for a few minutes and try by yourself. Here is an example for me. I live in, for me, a house. I live in the, for me, the suburbs. I live with my father. Now I'm going to put them all together and I can see I live in a house in the suburbs with my father. Please stop the video and try by yourself. If you need to, go back and watch the video to hear the examples again. Thank you for joining me today. Have a great day.